What's up, guys? BJ the Brave here, back with our coverage of the Shadowverse Open Kickoffs. And guys, last weekend we had, and the weekend before, we had the preliminaries. This Saturday we had the kickoff playoffs, which was all the winners coming together, and we've established a top 8 from those, and that's going to be broadcast live later on today. But today in this video I wanted to jump in and show you the results of the top 8, go over what the deck lists were, and huge shout out off the bat to Ziff. You can see, go and give him a follow on Twitter. Ziff does some great stuff with the data and collating all of the information together, and he's produced some really useful tables. So first of all, we can see that when it comes to the top 8, really interesting that we've got Wardhaven and an interesting mid-range Abyss deck that kind of finished top of the Swiss, right? So really cool to see Wardhaven up there. The other big thing of note here, I mean, of course, we've got Spellboost, and of course, we've got mid-range sword, but really, really interesting to see the prevalence of Roach Forest. And now we're getting to those top players and the top level player. We're really starting to see those that prey deck, which is the Roach Forest, come into play, countering the Spellboost, countering the mid-range sword. So that's really cool to see. And you can see here, definitely the highest performing class, and or should I say deck, really was combo Roach or Roach Forest, whatever we want to call it. But I'm just super hyped that Wardhaven was in there as a finalist. So let's take a look at the actual deck. So here we go. So we can see the we've obviously got every deck list. I'll put the copy of the spreadsheet in the description below, so you can check these out and get all the codes and links and stuff. But let's take a look at the top 8. So first of all, we've got Ars21. So shout out to Ars21, and here is his Wardhaven deck. Super cool, super cool. So this is the QR code there if you want to get it. But yeah, we can see very similar. If you've not seen my meta snapshot, which I released yesterday, go and check that one out on the channel. This is very, very similar to that list. He's literally shaved off 1 layer and 1 copy of Cleric of Crushing, and that's given him enough slots to slot both Divine Thunders, and I think that's an improvement on the deck. I think that's a really, really good improvement. Really, really cool, right? The Divine Thunder helps deal with those Amelia boards and those Norman boards with the barriers, but also can deal with like a Masterwork or a Q1, a large, a big Q1 Shigami unit, obviously. Basically things with aura, right? Like Divine Thunder can deal with them. But you can see the Kagaita's variants there again. I do think this is probably the best version right now that you can play. So massive shout out for that first place as 21 with the Wardhaven. Obviously really nice counter to the counter, right? Everyone playing Roach Forest, and Wardhaven's just an ultimate counter. It's probably like a 90-10 matchup in Wardhaven's favor. Let's take a look at his mid-range Abyss. I love this as well. Couple of interesting innovations here. We've got the double Grimnir, and I'll get you the QR code. There it is. Double Grimnir and also double Range of Serpent. So we're starting to see this tech now in the mid-range / control Abyss, giving the ability to kind of do that extra reach damage. You can get a good Cerebus off, do quite a lot of chip damage, and then you're kind of in range for like Rage Serpent plus Rage of Serpents plus like an Odin or something like that. So yeah, really, really cool. I'm really keen to take this to ladder and give this variant a shot as well. I'm really loving Grimnir. I just feel like this card is just becoming one of my favorite cards in the set. All right, so next up we had Mystery. Mystery was running Spellboost, Rune, and mid-range sword. So this was the Spellboost deck. And you can see some interesting techs in here with a double Arcane Eruption and the single Flame Sword, and then you've got the double William. So very anti-go wide, right? Lots and lots of AoE damage in there. Otherwise, fairly standard stuff. There is the code. And then we've also got his mid-range sword version, which, interesting, has the double Geno in there. 1 copy of the Urius. It isn't running the 1-drops. It does have a single Grimnir again, which I feel like is just too good to pass up when you're running the Guildarias. So yeah, really, really cool decks there from Mystery as the kind of like, I call that like the standard, right? The mid-range sword and the Spellboost Rune. Now, onto some of the prey decks. Now, we've got Maxiebon 1234, who brought Spellboost Rune and Roach Forest. So this is his Roach Forest deck. You can see there is nothing in there above 5 player points other than Bale, but obviously we know Bale only ends up costing like 0. So not running any of the big stuff, right? And that allows him to get the tempo from the Good Fairy of the Pond in there, as well as the Treble Garden and the Treble Ambush from above. So lots and lots of good stuff to kind of trigger Godwood Staff and to deal with the enemy board, basically, until you build the combo up. I feel like this deck is getting really, really refined now. This is really, really, really good to see. And his Spellboost Rune, he has actually gone for the Edelweiss version and the Triple Norman in there as well. So slightly more traditional than the last version that we just saw. Okay, next up we've got Aeary, mid-range sword spell boost rune. Let's take a quick look at the... Oh, I'll just show you the... just on the forest deck as well, I'll just show you the code quickly. For those of you wanting to do a combo roach, test this combo roach out. Okay, so Aeary's version of mid sword, he actually got a centaur in there, and the triple flagship. So yeah, slightly more aggro version. Just the single luminous, but he has got the hounds. So Sword's in a position at the minute where there are just loads and loads of, like, probably 4 to 5 cards that you can just tech and do different variants. And they're all really good, and that's the thing. So Aeary's, let's have a look at his spell boost. Not too much difference, right? We can see, what's he got here? He's got the Edelweiss again. He's got double flames. This is one of the things, it's like how much AoE, where did they put it? That tends to be one of the biggest differences in these decks at the minute. Okay, so now we've got Greer, who ran Aggro Abyss. There's the QR code for the Aggro Abyss deck. And yeah, actually, we how close is this to what we showed yesterday? It's pretty much card for card. It's card for card, I think. Yeah, we actually got the single copy of Apollo and only one Olivia. But otherwise, still running the double Boucher. We talked about this in the Meta Snapshot yesterday. Yeah, that deck's pretty locked in, to be honest. Quite a nice little tech with the Apollo, although I kind of like that, just to give you a little bit more opportunity against Sword as well. Yeah, really nice deck. And then he also ran Forest. I'm kind of keen to see the Forest deck, because I liked seeing how I want to see how they sort of varied, basically. So, yeah, so this Forest deck did actually run a single copy of Olivia and a single Titania. So the previous one didn't have that. I'll just get the QR code if you want to try this version. Yeah, I do think Olivia works really, really well. Giving you the heal, drawing into the combo pieces. It's always been a pretty solid 7-drop. I know people are getting fancy and trying Lamaga and other pieces, but I always feel like Olivia's pretty solid. The Titania's on the fence, right? Some people are dropping it. We saw that on last version, but yep, he's managed to go with that. He's not running, though, the Fairy of the Pond, and that seems to be a big decision at the minute in the combo Roach decks. Like, do you put the Fairy of the Ponds in for the earlier tempo and stem of the aggro, or do you not? That seems to be one of the big kind of tech choices, really. KTZN came 7th. He ran Aggro Sword. Okay, let's take a look at the Aggro Sword. Obviously, I mean, it's called this Aggro Sword, but if I'm being honest, I personally wouldn't say this is... I mean, the thing about it is he's not running the Amalias, right, in the 8 drops. So he has got triple Odin, but he's still got a Urius in there. No tentacles. I don't know whether I'd call that Aggro Sword, but I suppose in the early game, you know, he's looking to get his board to stick a little bit more with the double Coach Woman, and he's also running the 1-drop Quick Bladers as well. So again, you can see quite a lot of variants. Double Grimnir, interesting. Quite a lot of variants in the Sword makeup. And let's take a look at his Forest deck. And this Forest deck has actually got Lamaga and an Olivia. So we've kind of seen everything, right? We've seen one with no 7 drops. We've seen one with 2. We've got the Lamaga in there. This one doesn't have, the Fairy Pond in order to get those in. But, you know, 85% of the cards are pretty staple. They're all combo Roach. They all have the same ultimate win con. It's just about how you get there. And last but not least, we've got Itsuki, who also ran Roach Forest. I think in the top 8 later today, we're going to see some really high level combo Roach, seeing it countering those top 2 decks. Yeah, and Itsuki has gone for a single Limaga. And does also have a single Ferry the Pond. So again, I think these decisions are still being made amongst the Forest players. They're subtle, but there are these tweaks we can see, like how many 7s do you go for, which one, do you run the Ferry of the Pond? This is what seems to be the sort of decision making around the deck building, sorry, at the minute for combo Roach. And last, so yeah, just quickly generate you a QR code if you want to try this version from Itsuki. Itsuki. And then Itsuki also ran mid-range sword. Okay, so here is Itsuki's mid-range sword. Pretty standard stuff. Instead of the one of the 8 drops, he's actually gone for the tentacles, which is quite a common tech, and I noticed a lot more of the Japanese players are doing that as well. So yeah, again, it's more just a flavor thing. He has got a couple of copies of the Quick Blader in there as well. Yeah, I like that. I like this deck. I think this is a really, really solid representation of a mid-range deck. Anyway, so there we have it, guys. As I say, really, really excited for this evening's top 8. It's going to be broadcast on the official Shadowverse channel. I know Ignidius is going to be doing some commentary, which is awesome. And I'm really keen to see what people, what that looks like. And awesome to see, again, massive shout out to Ars21 for bringing Wardhaven and coming top. I'm really, really keen to see some super high level play. So check back in the channel. We will be reviewing the top 8 results, and we'll be looking at the deck list and talking about some of the highlights. If you like that, hit the subscribe. It's free to do so, supports the channel. I really appreciate it. All you got to do is hit that button down below. Thanks for all the support, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.